Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Michael betraying his friends by joining the enemy? The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates reveal that viewed as a traitor by some. Is it possible that Victor Newman's, Eric Braeden, ex-attorney will start working for the opposition? Get updates on the latest news about The Young and the Restless, straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? Michael tried to stop Victor from going too far in his feud against Jack. Fans of Y&R are aware that Michael attempted to establish some boundaries, guardrails, if you will, to prevent Victor from escalating his conflict with Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman. Nevertheless, Michael ultimately had to disengage because Victor remained as obstinate as ever. Victor is well known for his over-the-top stubbornness, and has been for years. For Victor, this was a significant act of betrayal, yet Michael may be on the verge of committing an even greater one in the upcoming episodes. The week spanning September 1st to 5th is set to unveil unexpected twists for Michael, potentially placing him in adversary territory in Victor's eyes. Remarkably, Michael will receive an unexpected offer that will take him completely by surprise and blindside him. What is this? Michael will receive a very tempting opportunity, and he may decide to take it. An enticing opportunity will be presented to Michael, which he might ultimately choose to seize, since Michael isn't the type to retire and do nothing but old guy stuff. Since leaving his job with Victor, Michael has found himself with little to occupy his time, and it's leading to feelings of boredom and restlessness. This might be the perfect moment for Michael to immerse himself in a new venture and rediscover a sense of purpose outside of Victor's influence. However, if this new opportunity involves the Abbotts, it could escalate the existing tension with his former employer, since Victor won't give up his feud. Will Michael decide to join Jack and place himself back in a potentially precarious situation? Lauren won't like it one little bit if Michael winds up mid-feud again. Lauren Fenmore Baldwin, Tracy E. Bregman, might find herself anxious once more if Michael becomes embroiled in the Newman-Abbott feud. This time, Michael could be aligning with a different faction. While Lauren will raise concerns if Michael sides with the Abbotts, he might still stand up for Jabot against the unpredictable Victor. Should Victor learn about Michael accepting a position with his greatest rival, it could further fracture their already strained relationship. What is this? Michael and Victor's friendship is unlikely to mend anytime soon if he chooses this path, so keep an eye out for any unfortunate developments ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Michael is on the verge of getting caught up in significant drama again, regardless of the circumstances. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Y&R right now. Come back here often for The Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Michael betraying his friends by joining the enemy? The Young and the Restless has built its legacy on characters walking the thin line between loyalty and betrayal, and now fans are buzzing about the possibility that Michael Baldwin, the Genoa City lawyer who has spent decades evolving from villain to trusted ally, may once again find himself on dangerous ground. Whispers in Genoa City suggest that Michael could be aligning himself with the very forces threatening his closest friends, and if that happens, the fallout could shake the Newman, Abbott, and Chancellor families to their core. This storyline would not only tap into Michael's history of questionable choices but also present a fresh twist that could pit him against the very people who trust him most. Is Michael truly turning against his allies, or is he playing a dangerous game of deception to protect the people he loves? Michael Baldwin has long been a fascinating study in redemption. When he first arrived in Genoa City, his manipulative streak and obsession with Christine Blair painted him as a dangerous man, a villain who thrived on control and power. Over time, however, Michael worked hard to rebuild his life, becoming a respected attorney, a devoted husband to Lauren Fenmore, and a trusted friend to power players like Victor Newman. But soap operas never forget history, and The Young and the Restless thrives on revisiting the darker shades of its characters. With Michael being placed in the middle of ongoing Newman rivalries, courtroom battles, and shady backroom dealings, the question becomes, is the darker side of Baldwin about to re-emerge, or is he simply playing a longer con? Spoilers suggest that Michael will soon find himself torn between professional duty and personal loyalty. As an attorney, Michael has always prided himself on following the law while also serving the needs of powerful clients, most notably Victor Newman. But this dedication has often landed him in tricky situations where his friendships clash with his obligations. With Victor ramping up his schemes to regain absolute control over his empire and deal with rivals like Adam, Nick, or even Kyle Abbott, Michael may be asked to cross lines he promised himself he would never cross again. And if Victor is pulling the strings, there's no doubt that Michael could find himself betraying those closest to him, even unintentionally. Lauren Fenmore has always been Michael's anchor, the one who steered him away from his darkest impulses. If Michael begins to show signs of betrayal or secrecy, Lauren is sure to notice. Could this storyline put one of Genoa City's strongest marriages at risk? Longtime viewers remember Michael's battles with cancer and how those struggles brought Lauren and him closer, reminding fans of the love and strength they share. But betrayal, even one done under the guise of protecting someone, could devastate Lauren and leave her questioning whether the man she married has slipped back into dangerous old habits. Imagine the heartbreak if Lauren finds out that Michael has been secretly helping Victor crush rivals or manipulating the legal system against Christine, Phyllis, or even Kevin. The idea of Michael turning against Christine is especially juicy given their history. Once upon a time, he stalked her, harassed her, and nearly destroyed her life. They later reached an understanding, building a fragile but profound friendship. If Michael were to betray Christine again, perhaps by siding with one of her legal adversaries or undermining her courtroom cases, it would bring their relationship full circle in a tragic way. Christine has fought so hard to forgive Michael and move forward, but betrayal would reopen old wounds and leave her wondering if he ever truly changed. Meanwhile, Kevin Fisher, Michael's brother, could also find himself caught in the crossfire. Kevin knows better than anyone that the Baldwin brothers carry dark pasts, but he has always believed in Michael's redemption. If Michael takes steps that endanger Chloe or Kevin's family, it could lead to a heartbreaking rift between the brothers. Y&R has been teasing more storylines for Kevin in recent months, and a betrayal by Michael could give Greg Ricart the chance to flex his dramatic chops in explosive family confrontations. Of course, the question remains, is Michael truly betraying his friends, or is this a clever misdirect? Michael has a history of playing double agent, pretending to side with enemies in order to gather information or outmaneuver them. Spoilers hint that Michael could be working behind the scenes, aligning himself with someone like Victor not because he wants to destroy Christine or Lauren's trust but because he sees no other way to get to the truth. For example, if Victor is hiding a scheme that could hurt Nick or Victoria, Michael may pretend to play along until he can expose the plan. The risk, of course, is that those he loves will see only betrayal before the truth comes out. This kind of morally gray storyline is exactly what soaps thrive on. Fans love Michael because he is complicated, neither all good nor all bad. His willingness to compromise his principles makes him unpredictable, and unpredictability keeps Genoa City exciting. Imagine Christine going head-to-head with Michael in court, with old wounds resurfacing. Imagine Lauren standing in the courtroom gallery, torn between supporting her husband and standing up for what's right. Imagine Kevin lashing out at his brother, accusing him of being no better than the man he used to be. These are the emotional beats that make a betrayal storyline rich and worth watching. And then there's the Victor Newman factor. Victor has long been a master manipulator, and Michael has always been drawn to Victor's orbit. Whether out of loyalty, fear, or professional admiration, Michael has often placed Victor's needs above his own best judgment. If Victor senses weakness in Michael or a vulnerability to exploit, he will not hesitate to use it. Could Victor force Michael to betray Christine by threatening Lauren? Could he demand that Michael sabotage Kevin's work at the police station? Victor's power over Michael has always been subtle but undeniable, and this could be the time when that power finally corrupts him completely. Fans are divided. Some believe Michael would never willingly betray his friends again, especially after spending so many years proving his loyalty. Others argue that this is exactly the kind of twist Y&R needs, because Michael has been too comfortable for too long. A betrayal storyline would shake him out of his domestic bliss and remind viewers of his darker origins. Either way, this arc promises to put Michael Baldwin front and center again, giving Christian LeBlanc the kind of dramatic material that has earned him Emmy after Emmy. As this storyline develops, the ultimate question will be whether Michael is betraying his friends out of choice or necessity. Is he willingly aligning himself with the enemy, or is he making sacrifices to protect the people he loves? Genoa City thrives on shades of gray, and Michael Baldwin has always embodied those shades. Whether he ends up as a traitor, a hero, or something in between, one thing is certain: the ripples of his decisions will be felt across every corner of the canvas. The Young and the Restless spoilers promise that the truth about Michael's choices will not remain hidden forever. When the fallout comes, friendships will shatter, alliances will crumble, and one of Genoa City's most respected men may once again find himself branded as a villain. The Young and the Restless spoilers: Michael tried to stop Victor from going too far in his feud against Jack. The Young and the Restless thrives on rivalries that span decades, and none has carried as much history, fire, and passion as the never-ending battle between Victor Newman and Jack Abbott. For years, these two titans of business have fought tooth and nail for supremacy in Genoa City, often dragging their families, allies, and even innocent bystanders into their warpath. But this time around, the feud has taken a dangerous turn, one that could spiral out of control if someone doesn't step in. Enter Michael Baldwin, Victor's longtime confidant, lawyer, and friend, who may be the only person willing to stand up to the Newman patriarch and try to stop him before things go too far. Yet, the question remains: will Victor listen, or will Michael's resistance spark another chain reaction of betrayal, loyalty tests, and broken friendships? Victor Newman is a man who never forgets an insult, never forgives a betrayal, and never accepts defeat. His rivalry with Jack Abbott is legendary, stretching back decades, and while there have been moments of fragile truces, they always seem to collapse under the weight of pride and ambition. Recently, the tension has reignited, with both Victor and Jack taking shots at one another in their personal lives and corporate dealings. But spoilers suggest Victor is prepared to push this feud into territory even his staunchest allies would find difficult to defend. This is where Michael Baldwin enters the picture, an attorney who has often served Victor's interests, but who also possesses enough moral grounding to know when his client and friend is about to cross a line he may never be able to step back from. Michael's role in Victor's life has always been complicated. On one hand, he owes much of his legal career to Victor's trust and patronage. On the other, he has often found himself torn between following Victor's ruthless instructions and maintaining his own sense of justice. Over the years, Michael has bent the law for Victor, but he has also stood his ground when Victor's tactics threatened to destroy innocent lives. In this latest chapter, Michael finds himself once again in that impossible position: loyalty versus integrity, friendship versus truth, morality versus survival. Spoilers indicate that Victor's latest scheme to destroy Jack Abbott involves far more than corporate espionage or a hostile takeover. Rumors swirl that Victor is ready to dig into Jack's personal life, his history of addiction, and even target his loved ones to gain leverage. Such tactics would not only humiliate Jack but could shatter the fragile peace Jack has worked so hard to build in his family. For Michael, this is where the line must be drawn. While Michael has stood by Victor in many questionable battles, he knows that going after Jack's sobriety or family would be a devastatingly cruel move. But how do you tell Victor Newman no without putting yourself directly in his crosshairs? The dynamic between Victor and Michael is unique. Victor respects Michael's intelligence and values his loyalty, but Victor is also a man who demands obedience. If Michael refuses to carry out Victor's plan, Victor could easily view it as a betrayal. That could cost Michael not only his professional relationship with the most powerful man in Genoa City but also his personal standing in town. At the same time, if Michael caves and helps Victor, he risks alienating his wife Lauren, his longtime friend Christine, and his brother Kevin. It's the ultimate lose-lose situation, but one that soap fans know will lead to explosive drama. Jack Abbott, meanwhile, remains unaware of just how far Victor may be planning to go. He's no stranger to Victor's schemes, but this particular chapter could cut deeper than ever before. Jack's battle with addiction has been one of his most personal struggles, and Victor exploiting it for corporate gain would be seen by many as the lowest blow in their feud. Imagine the emotional fallout if Jack discovers Victor planted seeds of doubt about his sobriety, manipulated public perception, or even orchestrated a setup to make Jack look like he relapsed. Such a move would devastate Jack's credibility, shake his family's trust, and possibly undo years of progress. And if Michael is caught anywhere near such a scheme, his reputation could be destroyed right alongside Jack's. Lauren Fenmore's reaction to Michael's involvement would be pivotal. Lauren has always believed her husband is a good man at heart, someone who left behind his dark past and grew into a trusted, respectable figure. If she discovers Michael helped Victor in targeting Jack, Lauren will not take it lightly. She has a history of standing up for what is right, and she's fiercely protective of Michael's integrity. This could cause serious strain in their marriage, forcing Lauren to question whether Victor's influence over Michael has gone too far. On the flip side, if Lauren sees Michael taking a stand against Victor, she may fear the consequences of Victor's wrath and worry that Michael has put himself in unnecessary danger. Christine Williams, Michael's old frenemy turned ally, also factors heavily into this storyline. Christine has always carried a complicated history with Michael, remembering the man he once was and respecting the man he became. If Michael helps Victor, Christine may see it as proof that he can never fully change. If Michael defies Victor, Christine may be the one to step in and offer him support, reminding him that doing the right thing is worth the risk. Their history could resurface in a powerful way, adding layers of nostalgia and drama to the unfolding feud. Kevin Fisher may also become collateral damage. Kevin has always believed in Michael's redemption and respected his ability to walk the line between dark and light. But if Michael becomes too entangled in Victor's scheme, Kevin may lash out at him, accusing him of betraying his family and their hard-fought reputations. It could set the stage for an emotional brother-versus-brother confrontation, one that highlights the Baldwin brothers' shared past of questionable choices and their struggle to rise above them. As the storyline progresses, the bigger question will be whether Michael is truly trying to stop Victor or simply caught in the middle of his schemes. Spoilers hint that Michael may first attempt to subtly guide Victor away from the most destructive choices, using legal advice and quiet reasoning to discourage him. But when Victor refuses to listen, and Victor rarely listens, Michael may be forced into drastic action. Could Michael ultimately switch sides, quietly warning Jack of Victor's plans? Could he risk betraying Victor to protect Genoa City from another scorched earth Newman campaign? If so, the fallout would be nuclear. Victor Newman is not a man who forgives betrayal, and Michael knows this better than anyone. Standing against Victor could cost Michael his career, his friendships, and even his safety. But it could also reaffirm his integrity and prove once and for all that he's no longer the man who once thrived on manipulation and darkness. The dramatic potential here is massive, Victor facing off against one of his own trusted allies, Michael torn apart by impossible choices, Jack fighting to protect his sobriety and family, and Lauren standing by her husband in the middle of a storm that could destroy everything. The Victor-Jack feud has always been the heartbeat of the young and the restless, and bringing Michael Baldwin into the center of it adds a fresh layer of intrigue. For years, fans have watched these battles play out, but rarely has someone like Michael been positioned as a potential peacekeeper, or betrayer. This storyline promises to not only revisit decades of history but also set the stage for a showdown that could change alliances and redefine relationships across Genoa City. In the end, the question remains, can Michael Baldwin stop Victor Newman from going too far, or is this a fight destined to spiral beyond anyone's control? Soap fans know one thing, when Victor sets his sights on vengeance, nothing and no one can stand in his way. But if anyone has the intelligence, the courage, and the moral conviction to try, it just might be Michael Baldwin. Whether he succeeds or fails, the fallout will leave Genoa City forever changed, and viewers will be glued to their screens as the drama explodes. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Michael will receive a very tempting opportunity, and he may decide to take it. On The Young and the Restless, few characters embody the struggle between dark ambition and moral redemption as vividly as Michael Baldwin. Once a scheming villain, Michael rebuilt his life, becoming a respected attorney, a devoted husband, and a fiercely loyal friend. Yet, Genoa City has a way of pulling even its most redeemed residents back toward dangerous crossroads, and spoilers suggest that Michael may soon face one of the most tempting opportunities of his life. This choice could challenge everything he has built, shake his closest relationships, and drag him back into a world he thought he had left behind. The question is, will Michael resist the allure of this opportunity, or will temptation prove too powerful to ignore? Michael has always thrived when caught in the gray areas of morality. His legal career put him in positions where he often bent the rules for powerful clients like Victor Newman, all while convincing himself that he was still doing good. But deep down, Michael has always been drawn to power, control, and the thrill of playing the game at the highest level. That is why this new opportunity, whatever form it takes, could be the very thing that reignites his darker instincts. Spoilers tease that it may involve a major legal case, a high-stakes corporate maneuver, or even a personal deal that could elevate Michael's career and status far beyond anything he has achieved before. Imagine Michael being offered the chance to represent a major power player, someone who could change the balance of Genoa City's corporate wars. Perhaps it's Victor Newman demanding Michael's services in a ruthless scheme to eliminate Jack Abbott once and for all. Or maybe it's Jack himself, desperate to protect Jabot and willing to offer Michael a position that would give him influence and prestige. Either way, this opportunity would put Michael in the center of Genoa City's most powerful rivalry, forcing him to choose sides in a way that could have lasting consequences. Lauren Fenmore, Michael's wife and moral compass, would have strong opinions about this. For years, Lauren has helped Michael stay grounded, reminding him that his family and integrity matter more than ambition. If Michael accepts an offer that risks his reputation or places him under Victor's thumb again, Lauren will likely push back hard. Their marriage has endured cancer battles, betrayals, and countless storms, but temptation of this magnitude could be a breaking point. Will Michael risk alienating the one person who has always stood by him in pursuit of power or prestige? Christine Williams could also play a pivotal role in this storyline. Michael and Christine share a fraught history, with Michael once being her stalker before turning his life around and eventually winning her forgiveness. In recent years, they have built a genuine friendship, but Christine has never fully forgotten his past. If Michael chooses a path that puts him at odds with her in the courtroom, the tension between them could reignite. Imagine the emotional weight if Michael takes a case that pits him against Christine, forcing her to see the darker man she once feared. Kevin Fisher, Michael's brother, is another key player. Kevin has always believed in Michael's redemption and respected his ability to walk the fine line between good and bad. But Kevin also knows how dangerous that line can be. If Michael accepts a tempting offer that could jeopardize everything they've worked for as a family, Kevin may call him out, accusing him of falling back into his old ways. Their brotherly bond could fracture under the weight of Michael's ambition, leading to explosive confrontations that remind viewers of their complicated past. The nature of the opportunity itself will likely be tied to Genoa City's ongoing corporate and legal battles. With Victor Newman constantly seeking new ways to tighten his grip on Newman Enterprises and Jack Abbott fighting tooth and nail to protect Jabot, Michael could be positioned as the ultimate swing player. Whoever secures his loyalty would gain not just a brilliant legal mind but also someone with the cunning to outmaneuver their enemies. But that also means Michael's decision will not go unnoticed. If he chooses Victor, Jack will see it as a personal betrayal. If he chooses Jack, Victor may see it as the ultimate act of treachery. Either way, Michael is walking into a storm that could redefine his role in Genoa City. But what if the opportunity isn't strictly legal or corporate? Spoilers sometimes hint at twists that blur the lines between personal and professional. Could Michael be tempted by an offer from a shadowy figure in Genoa City's underworld? Perhaps someone offers him wealth and power in exchange for bending the law in ways he swore he never would again. This kind of temptation would harken back to Michael's earliest days on the show, when he thrived on manipulation and control. Taking such a deal could undo years of redemption and risk everything he holds dear. The dramatic potential of this storyline lies in the fallout. If Michael gives in to temptation, the ripple effects will touch nearly every corner of Genoa City. Lauren could question her marriage, wondering if the man she loves has reverted to his old self. Christine could be forced into a devastating confrontation in court, reliving their painful past. Kevin could lose faith in his brother, creating a Baldwin family crisis. And Victor or Jack, depending on whose side Michael takes, could gain an advantage that shifts the balance of power across the canvas. Of course, there's also the possibility that Michael accepts the opportunity not out of greed but out of strategy. He has a history of playing double agent, aligning himself with powerful figures only to secretly gather information or protect those he loves. Could Michael's acceptance of this tempting offer be a cover for a larger plan? If so, he risks being misunderstood by everyone around him, creating emotional turmoil and fractured relationships. The ultimate reveal could be that Michael was a hero all along, but only after enduring accusations of betrayal and disloyalty. Fans of The Young and the Restless know that Christian LeBlanc shines when Michael is caught in morally complex situations. This storyline promises to give him exactly that material, scenes that force him to balance loyalty, ambition, fear, and love. Viewers can expect passionate courtroom battles, emotional confrontations with Lauren, tearful conversations with Kevin, and tense showdowns with Victor and Jack. The layers of history at play here make this one of the most compelling arcs Michael could face in years. In the end, the question isn't just whether Michael will accept the opportunity but what kind of man he will be if he does. Will he fall back into the darkness of his past, choosing ambition over love and loyalty? Or will he find a way to turn temptation into triumph, proving that he has truly changed? Genoa City thrives on these moral dilemmas, and Michael Baldwin has always been at his most fascinating when torn between two worlds. Whatever path he chooses, one thing is certain: this opportunity will not only test Michael but also redefine him in the eyes of everyone he loves. The fallout will ripple across Genoa City, shaking marriages, friendships, and alliances in ways no one sees coming. For Michael Baldwin, temptation has come knocking, and this time, he may decide to answer. The Young and the Restless spoilers: Lauren won't like it one little bit if Michael winds up mid-feud again. The Young and the Restless has always thrived on rivalries, betrayals, and alliances that shift like the tides in Genoa City. Few characters embody the complexities of those shifting loyalties quite like Michael Baldwin. For decades, he has been drawn into battles that test his morals, his relationships, and even his sense of self. Time and again, Michael has found himself acting as lawyer, fixer, and confidant to Genoa City's most powerful figures, most notably Victor Newman. But as whispers spread that Michael is about to be caught in yet another bitter feud, this time between Victor and Jack Abbott, fans are left wondering what toll it will take on his marriage. Because one thing is clear: Lauren Fenmore won't like it one little bit if her husband once again becomes a pawn in someone else's dangerous game. Michael Baldwin has spent years proving that he is more than the villain he once was. From the days when he stalked Christine Blair to his transformation into a respected attorney and family man, Michael has walked one of the most powerful redemption arcs in soap history. Yet, his redemption has always been tested by the company he keeps. His loyalty to Victor Newman has earned him power and prestige, but it has also dragged him into messy corporate feuds, shady legal maneuverings, and questionable moral decisions. Now, with Victor ramping up his long-standing rivalry with Jack Abbott, Michael once again faces the risk of being drawn into the crossfire. Lauren Fenmore has always been Michael's anchor, the voice of reason reminding him of the man he has become rather than the man he used to be. Their love story has been a constant source of stability, even as chaos erupted around them. They survived Michael's cancer battle, years of legal wars, and countless schemes threatening their marriage. But Lauren knows better than anyone that Michael's loyalty to Victor comes with a price. Every time Michael aligns, Himself with Victor in a feud, he risks losing not just his integrity but also the trust of those closest to him. Lauren may stand by him in many battles, but her patience is not infinite. If Michael winds up in the middle of Victor and Jack's feud once again, Lauren's reaction could be explosive. She has long distrusted Victor's influence over her husband, and with good reason. Victor has a way of pulling people into his orbit and using them as pawns, no matter how loyal or well-intentioned they may be. Lauren may see Michael's involvement not as professional duty but as a dangerous slide back into old habits. She knows that once Michael starts bending the law and compromising his values for Victor's benefit, it becomes a slippery slope that could lead to disaster. Spoilers suggest that Victor's latest feud with Jack may involve digging into Jack's past struggles with addiction, weaponizing his vulnerabilities to weaken him both personally and professionally. Such tactics would be devastating, and Michael knows it. For Michael to help Victor in such a scheme would go against everything he has worked to rebuild in his life. But if Michael refuses Victor, he risks angering the most powerful man in Genoa City. It's a no-win situation, and Lauren will not sit quietly while her husband is torn apart by impossible choices. Lauren herself has a rich history with Jack Abbott, which makes this feud even more complicated. As longtime friends and former business allies through Fenmores and Jabot, Lauren has deep ties to Jack. If Michael aids Victor in going after Jack, Lauren may view it as not only immoral but also a personal betrayal of someone she cares about. This could place her directly at odds with Michael, sparking one of the most intense marital conflicts they've faced in years. Imagine Lauren confronting Michael, accusing him of choosing Victor over their marriage, and warning him that she will not allow Victor's battles to destroy their life together. Christine Williams could also become a factor in this storyline. Christine has forgiven Michael for his past transgressions, but she is not blind to his flaws. If Michael ends up standing beside Victor in court against Jack or Christine herself, it would reopen old wounds and force Christine to question whether Michael ever truly changed. This could place Michael in the middle of two strong women, Lauren and Christine, both of whom know his darkest past and refuse to let him slide back into it. Meanwhile, Kevin Fisher could be the emotional wild card. Kevin has always admired his brother's redemption, but he also knows firsthand how easy it is to fall back into old patterns. If Kevin sees Michael being pulled too deep into Victor's feud, he may lash out, accusing Michael of abandoning his family and betraying the values they fought so hard to embrace. A Baldwin family rift could emerge, adding another layer of drama to the storyline. What makes this arc so compelling is the moral dilemma at its core. Michael's temptation to remain in Victor's orbit has always been fueled by loyalty, ambition, and the thrill of playing the game. But every time he makes that choice, he risks losing the people who matter most. Lauren has always been patient, but if Michael once again chooses to stand beside Victor in a feud that drags Jack, Jabot, and others into chaos, it could be the last straw. Soap marriages are built on resilience, but they are also tested by betrayal, and Michael may find himself facing the biggest test of all. Fans are divided. Some argue that Michael has grown too much to fall back into these traps and that he will ultimately find a way to stop Victor from going too far. Others believe that Michael's darker instincts have been dormant for too long, and this storyline is the perfect chance to reawaken them. Either way, the outcome will redefine Michael and Lauren's marriage, force Jack and Victor into yet another legendary showdown, and ripple across Genoa City in ways that no one can fully predict. Ultimately, Lauren Fenmore's role in this storyline may be the most important. She has always been Michael's conscience, the one who pulls him back from the edge. But this time, she may draw a line in the sand, telling him that she will not stand by if he sacrifices their life together for Victor Newman's endless wars. Her ultimatum could be the very thing that forces Michael to choose once and for all between loyalty to Victor and loyalty to his marriage. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that this feud is far from over, and Michael Baldwin's involvement could be the spark that ignites a full-blown explosion. As Victor and Jack prepare to battle, Michael faces the most dangerous temptation of all, to step into the middle of a war that could cost him everything. And if he does, Lauren won't like it one little bit. In fact, it could push their marriage to the breaking point, leaving Michael to wonder if the opportunity to stand with Victor is worth the price of losing Lauren forever.